What's going on, everyone? Mike Murtis, Gamer Logic here. Happy Memorial Day. Just got through cutting the grass and everything else, and now I'm finally just taking the opportunity to sit down and relax a little bit. And I figured it's time to do a little Commodore 64. And for those of you who are unfamiliar with my history of the Commodore 64, this would be the first computer system I ever got my hands on at a very, very young age of like 2 or 3 years old. And if you want to call it a game console, which has a lot of games, but it's really not in a sense, this would be my second one, my first being the Intellivision. So I have a lot of history with the Commodore 64 with a ton of games, and this was really the thing that got me going to see what the next jump from generation to generation of video games was. I mean, Intellivision looked amazing to me as a kid, but then you got to the Commodore 64 and you were like, wow, this is pretty intense. And one of those games, and probably one of the first games that scared the living hell out of me as a little kid, was this game that you see right here. And this is Forbidden Forest. You play an archer who's on the hunt for various creatures in this forest, and eventually you need to fight the main villain, who is still pretty tough for me to this day. So I figured I'd talk a little bit about my history and a little bit about this game as we go through it. So let's start this up. And thank you, Paul Norman, for developing this game, because this is an absolute classic, in my opinion. Still fun to play. So here we are. I am an archer. I do have to hit the fire button to load my arrow, and doing so leaves me slightly vulnerable, so I have to time it correctly. And right now, these spiders are on the hunt for me. And each time you complete a wave, your archer will do a little dance. And the forest gets darker as you take more and more time for this. And you want to try to get through these enemies as fast as you can, because the final boss is slightly invisible. And the darker it gets, the harder he is to see. And we got a bee here. Ooh. Gotcha. So as you increase the difficulty level of this in the beginning, you'll get either enemies that take multiple hits or just more enemies altogether. What's next? Ooh, giant frogs. The death animations in this are pretty gruesome for both the enemies and your archer. I mean, you got spiders eating you. If you get hit by one of these guys, you just get smeared all over the forest. You get melted. You get set on fire. Pretty gruesome. That's another thing that was really terrifying to me as a little kid. So we've been through the spiders, the bumblebee, and the frogs. And I think the dragons are next, and this one I struggled with as a kid so much. I still struggle with it now, so we'll see how this goes. Great music, by the way, in this game. Oh shit. Whew, that would have been bad. So now he's chasing me, so I literally just need to do a quick turn here and see if I can... Oh god! Now I'm on fire. It's actually easier to hit him if he comes from this direction here, in some senses. But you have to time it just right. 1, 2, 3. Ooh, got lucky. And there's multiples of those, if I remember correctly, when you hit up the difficulty level, and it gets pretty damn frustrating. So out of all the creatures in this game, this one... Oh, whoops, didn't want to do that. Now I'm getting stabbed to death. Of all the creatures of the game, the Phantom freaked me out the most. How he's just kind of floating in the sky here. Ah! I used to have nightmares that he used to be like outside my window up in the sky. So let's see if we can do this. Turn it and... Oh! He shielded him. Ah! So there's really two things you can do against this guy. You can kind of... Oop, got him. You can either keep shooting the skeletons until he eventually comes close enough where you can hit him up in the hood area, or you can actually get the skeleton to retreat and you can get under the Phantom that way and then shoot up with him. And man, talk about an ear-piercing screech, huh? Nothing like dancing in the forest when there's tons of monsters just ready to eat you. I think next is the snake. Snakes freak me out. So, as a kid, you can imagine that this enemy really scared me too. And this guy can melt you. Oh, God. Oh, but I got him before he melted me, and there he goes. He's bleeding out. And I think the final boss is next. The Demo Goblin? Hemo Goblin? Something like that. But he's slightly invisible. Really hard to see at night, and you have to have the perfect shot with him. He can get you once, and if he gets you once, you have to start the whole game over again. So you can imagine it's very frustrating. Oop. And if you see the little meter I got going there, ah! Where is he? Where is he? Where is he? Just to kind of aim at his head. Ah! And he's going to keep getting bigger and bigger. If you keep moving, it stops the timer from him actually... Oh, there he is. Oh, shit. So if you walk, the timer for him coming after you stops. As soon as you stop, a timer starts, and he gets closer and closer. And like I said, if he gets you, you got to start over again. All the way back at the beginning, which isn't too frustrating. I think he's right there. He's gonna get me. That him? Oh, God. I'm pretty sure you got to shoot him diagonally. Shooting straight. Oh, God, that was so close. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. You get 50 arrows, by the way. Oh, God. Is he still there? Probably not. Ah, he got me. So, yeah, guys, I obviously did not beat the final boss. But that is Forbidden Forest by Paul Norman. What a great game. Since I've got my Commodore 64C hooked back up, I've been playing this like crazy. So I kind of want to go through all the difficulty levels and really get to a point where I can just take out that final boss. No problem. So I got to brush up on my strategies with that. But overall, guys, if you have any sort of access to a Commodore 64, Commodore 64 ROMs, whatever it may be, at least give this game a try. There was, I think, 2 sequels to Forbidden Forest. There was Forbidden Forest 2, which tried to do a really strange 4D thing. I didn't really like it that much. And Forbidden Forest 3 was a 3D one that looked very, very basic. And I don't think there's been anything since. So yeah. But overall, the first is the most desirable to play, in my opinion anyway, and I hope you enjoyed watching this video, because I do plan on bringing some more Commodore 64 to this channel and brushing up on my memories of this great computer system. Thanks for watching, guys. Much better.
If you enjoyed this video, please help spread the word about GamerLogic content by giving us a thumbs up and sharing this video on all your social network feeds. Your friends will thank you, and we'll thank you too for helping us out. Want more GamerLogic content? Support us on our Patreon page for exclusive mini articles, mini videos, desktop backgrounds, import Bukin videos, and monthly video game music remixes. Even supporting us with $1 gets you something cool. Thanks for your support.